My name is Matt Pinion. I joined MSA as a summer student in 1957, came back in '68 and retired in '96. I held every position in the company from janitor to president, chairman of the board, CEO, and everything in between as we grew from 8 people to 240 when I retired. It was primarily a survey firm when I joined, and we decided I wanted more engineering. We started going out and pursuing projects. If we heard about a project, we went after it. We called it marketing. It was pretty primitive, but we wanted to get bigger, and we wanted to broaden into more services and become a full-service company. At the old office building, we had 35 people in a building that was designed for 16. We had desks in the hall, and we had a sewage treatment plant up at Wisconsin Dells that we rented space from the Circus World Museum. We just needed more space, and we wanted to be under one roof. We didn't have enough to finish the building. So we finished the upper level and left the lower level pretty much unfinished to develop as we needed it. It worked out pretty well. We managed to get her done, and we managed to get our note paid off, and then we started finishing offices for the additional architects and all the planning group that we added. We had a lot of planners that got into the financial part of the company, working for clients, finding them money so we could do their engineering work, and the two tied together so well that was a big growth period. I wrote the first grant because we didn't have a grant writer. We wanted to broaden the ownership of the company. First look at an ESOP. It was a lengthy process, but I felt that would do great things for us. One of the other benefits was the feeling of ownership that the employees got. They can always do a better job or find a better way of doing things, and if they feel they're going to benefit from that, it gave them a better attitude towards the company, and it also gave them a share of the profits for their efforts. The growth that was experienced in that time was the result of finding qualified people and giving them a good workplace that kept them with the company, and that we had a lot of long-term employees. When I retired in '96, everybody on the board had the visions of becoming a regional firm. That's when I decided that it would be best for me to let them grab the reins, and Gil was already the president of the company then. I had given him that part of it 5 years earlier. And the boys started expanding.
Well, I'm Gil Girdman. I was employed with MSA from 1967 until 2008. Started as just a engineer, held numbers of different positions at MSA. And at that point in time, MSA was really a big surveying company. Everybody in the company had a surveyor's license. If they were an engineer, they still had a surveyor's license. I guess if I had a mentor over at MSA, it was Matt. He was the one that first took me aside and showed me what, I guess, kind of giving me an education on business practices. I'd come to him with ideas, and he was always willing to pretty much let you go with them. If you're going to be somebody, I think it starts out with having some values and then trying to live those values. Number one was honesty and integrity. Ultimately became the president and president CEO, and then CEO and chairman of the board. My vision at that point in time was just statewide. I wanted to see MSA be a respected member of the engineering community at that point in time. Prior to, I don't know, they were just a little surveying, basically a surveying company over in Baraboo that did a little bit of engineering, and I wanted to see them be a big engineering company that also did surveying. Projects are projects, and I can give you stories about projects, but I think the people aspect of it is the part that I really remember and probably cherish the most.
My name is Gil Honch, staff wastewater engineer, September 1992, right out of grad school. I think, I'm going to guess at that time I was about employee number 150 or so, but that was also really the beginnings of our outward expansion. We had a couple of branch offices that were made possible by projects. So the project in the Galena territories, we had a little land surveying office in Friendship, Wisconsin, and then locations in Beaver Dam and Rhinelander, but nothing outside of Wisconsin at that time. So by the late 90s, we were hiring and expanding into Iowa and getting up into Duluth. That was our first foray into Minnesota in the late 90s. We're not just a Baraboo firm or a Wisconsin firm, we're a multi-state firm, and that the growth of the firm is going to rely on our growth outside of Wisconsin. So I think what hasn't changed is the underlying cultural fabric of this company. Casual environment, family-oriented, and all those things really were true, and people genuinely cared about the company. And I think all of those things are still true today.